By virtually any measure, the United States is failing to prepare a generation of low-income children for success in college and life. Sadly, Texas is ranked 42nd of 50 states for its high school graduation rate of 65%. And worse than that, of Texas high school graduates, only 22% are meeting college readiness benchmarks in all four core subjects. But this is a fixable problem. Idea Public Schools was created to prepare students from underserved communities for success in college and citizenship. And we do this by ensuring that they have the academic, the social, and the leadership traits that they need to apply, matriculate, and ultimately to graduate from a four-year college or university. What we are demonstrating is that at scale, we can eliminate the achievement gap between low-income students and their more affluent peers. Idea Public Schools will grow to serve more students from underserved communities throughout the state of Texas. When Idea executes our growth and impact plan between now and 2017, we'll increase the number of college graduates from low-income families by 50%, and in the process become the single largest producer of low-income college grads in the state of Texas. To do this, we're going to have to grow and stretch and become better in ways that we've probably not even yet imagined. But there's a couple of things that we know we need to do for sure. First, we really need to invest in the capacity of our leaders at every level to be sure that every single campus has a world-class principal who's able to attract and retain the best teaching talent. Which brings me to the next point. In order to scale up over the next half decade, we're going to have to, like never before, attract and retain the sort of entrepreneurial, high energy, committed teachers that we know it takes to move our students from where they come to us to where they have to be. And finally, we've got to find ways as we reach more students in more communities to ensure that they stay with us, that they don't leave our schools before getting caught up. And we do this through creating a powerful college readiness culture in all of our schools. When executed successfully, Ideal will grow to 62 schools, educating 50,000 students, creating better futures for low-income families, our communities, and ultimately the state of Texas. That is transformational change in Texas's education landscape. Just because it sounds cliche doesn't mean that it's not true when I say that people truly are the biggest asset at Idea Public Schools. Great teachers equal great student outcomes. It's kind of the bottom line. So Idea invests resources to find the best teacher and leader talent available. We know that when the adults in the education system get it right, our students thrive. We place a lot of emphasis on hiring and recruitment so that we can ensure that every single classroom at all of our schools has a world-class teacher. And once we recruit and attract these great people, we give them intensive, continuous training to set them up for success and ensure that they're developing professionally. Again, we know that our people are our most valuable asset, and therefore they are the greatest lever that we have to impact the lives of children and ultimately ensure that they're making it to and through a four-year college or university. One of the most amazing components of our academic program is our elementary model. It combines the best in data-driven instruction, high-quality curriculum, and what we call a hybrid or blended learning model that combines technology with traditional good old-fashioned teaching. Let me start with our core educational program. It is highly intentional and very structured, and we can hone in on how to teach concepts with surgical-like accuracy. From kindergarten through fifth grade, our math, reading, and writing curriculum is among the best, most rigorous curriculum at any school, public or private, in America. But the real innovation here is our ability to support teachers so that it's executed flawlessly in every classroom, in every grade level, in every school, all the time. And the way that we monitor student progress through looking at data means that students never go more than 2 weeks without an administrator and a teacher looking at exactly what students did and did not learn. And our reteaching approach happens right there on the spot. And the result is that every single kindergartner leaves kindergarten reading on or above grade level. And it's amazing. I mean, learning disabilities melt away when teachers know how to teach using the best techniques. Now, I often say that students don't have dyslexia, adults have dystechia. You improve instruction and you improve student learning. It's that simple. Finally, we use hybrid learning that combines the best in what we call adaptive software. So when students are in front of a computer screen, the technology is actually sensing if kids are getting answers right, it's throwing more challenging material at them. If students are struggling, then it backs up to the concepts that students are having a tough time with. And all of this happens automatically, electronically, so that we're using technology to leverage and enhance what's actually happening in the classroom. So you combine those three things and you create a world-class education environment that means that our students in some of the poorest communities in Texas are getting an education that is on par with some of the best private and public schools in the most affluent communities across our nation. I think what makes Idea Public Schools so effective is that our mission is just totally embedded in our DNA, and that's ensuring that every single student makes it to and through a four-year college or university. Now, there's the mission, but there's also how we go about achieving that mission, and that's really articulated in our core values. And when it comes time to make organizational decisions, we always bring it back. Is this going to get us one step closer to that day when every child makes it to and through a four-year college or university? And one of the core values that I think is just really emblematic of our approach at IDEA is whatever it takes. And when I think about our whatever it takes philosophy, that's really about continuous improvement, figuring out what's the gap between where we currently are and where we want our students to be. And that's where our very innovative data tracking for student achievement really comes into play. We've got this amazing system called Lightbulb, which provides up to the minute, cutting edge, real time data for all of our teachers and even to students and families so they can track their progress and know exactly how they're doing at any given time. The other thing is we really do have this no excuse value or ethos within our organization. And what that means is that if students haven't learned, we haven't taught. And we take personal responsibility for the success of every single one of our students. The other thing that I would really talk about is our sweating the small stuff core value. And it's the little tiny things that all add up to create a powerful learning environment. It's the way that students wear their uniforms, the sort of belt they have on, the extent to which their uniform shirt is pressed. When you focus on all of these small things, it really creates a culture of high expectations that really sets the tone for learning. And finally, I would just talk about our school launch model. We launch schools small and we grow them over time so that an elementary school that will eventually have 700 students only starts off with 2 or 300. And what that enables us to do is get the culture and the tone right from the very first day, and we can grow the school organically. And that's really the only way that we've been able to scale with such success is as our organization has gotten bigger, well, the size of each individual school has remained the same. So you combine all of those things, and I think that really describes the IDEA approach to education and why our students and teachers have been so incredibly successful. At IDEA, we set very ambitious goals and we hold ourselves accountable to those goals. Every single employee in the organization knows exactly what he or she is responsible and what that success looks like. And we really take all of our metrics in the organization and we split them up into one of three big goals. The first goal, and this is really the most important, is to achieve college-ready student results with the kids that we serve. And there's a couple of ways that we measure that from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. First, we want to be sure that every single kindergarten and first grade student leaves those grades on or above level in math, in reading, and writing. And by fifth grade, we want to ensure that all of those students who are leaving fifth grade and entering sixth grade are ready for seventh grade level work. That ensures that in middle school, they're already on a college prep track. For high school, every student needs to leave high school college ready. And we measure that in a few ways: the extent to which they get a 24 or higher on their ACT, the number of AP exams that they successfully pass to get college credit, and an acceptance letter from a four-year college or university. There's a lot of smaller metrics with student achievement, but ultimately they all roll up to that big goal of ensuring that all of our students are making big academic gains. Goal two is to build a strong and sustainable organization. And there's probably three big areas that we measure. One is employee retention. We simply cannot grow at the rate we're growing and the scale we want to get to if we don't increasingly do a better job of keeping our top people. The second thing that we look for is how able are we to staff our schools at the principal level with leaders who we have internally developed and promoted, so that we know that when an idea school opens, the DNA and the culture of that school is going to be created by somebody who's worked his way up or her way up through our system. And finally, we want to ensure that we're holding ourselves accountable, that once a school is at scale, it is operating without any need for philanthropic dollars. Our third goal is to grow to scale with quality. We've been averaging 25% annual growth. I mean, that's just amazing growth since the inception of our organization. We're opening up 4 to 8 schools per year, and we're doing this so that we can become Texas's largest creator of low-income college freshmen and college grads. For each of our goals, we've developed objectives with very specific measurable outcomes. And for more information on our metrics, I really encourage you to visit us at ideapublicschools.org. Many people have a misconception that Idea Public Schools are private schools, or that students pay tuition to attend, or that special education students or low-income students can't come to our school. I mean, it's all totally, completely false. The reality is we are a public charter school. We're tuition-free, but due to our outstanding results, people often try to discredit or explain away our student success by assuming or stating that we have academic requirements to enroll. Again, it's just not true. As an open enrollment charter school, our students are chosen through a random lottery. You should come to a lottery day one time at Idea Public Schools. There are literally thousands of students packed into a gymnasium or a large hall, and they're all on pins and needles on the edge of their seat waiting to see if their name pops up. And there's tears of joy, there's tears of heartbreak for the students who don't get in. And that really reflects the fact that our students are randomly selected. In addition, if you look at the demographics of Idea Public Schools, we completely mirror the communities that we serve. So we're actually getting better results with the same population of students. The difference is not the student's education level or the parent's education level or student motivation. The difference truly is the value add that our teachers have in the lives of our students. Our success comes from working with every single student to determine where the areas of growth are, to ensure that they don't fall behind their more affluent peers. I think another misconception is that because we do focus so much on teaching a very rigorous college prep curriculum, that we might somehow ignore educating the whole student. It's a huge point of pride for us that we're got a big focus on not just getting students ready for college, but also preparing them for citizenship. That means that we want our students to be well-rounded. We want them to be moral individuals who know the difference between right and wrong, and who really leave Idea Public Schools committed not just to get a college degree, but once they get that degree, to give back to their communities. At Idea Public Schools, we've had some amazing accomplishments that we're incredibly proud of. I would say first and foremost, it's been that track record of 5 consecutive years. Every single one of our students has been accepted into a four-year college or university. And of those students who were accepted into a four-year college or university, every single student actually stepped foot on a college campus the first day of their freshman year. And of those students who applied, who were accepted, who stepped foot on campus, over 92% of our alumni from the first 5 years have persisted in college. I would also point to the fact that we have an exemplary rating, which is the very highest rating you can get from the state of Texas. And we've had it now for 2 consecutive years. We are the largest K-12 majority low-income serving school system in Texas to have that exemplary rating. I'd also point out the fact that our original high school, our flagship school, out of over 22,000 high schools in America, was named the number 13 high school in America, which made us the number 2 charter school in America and made us the second best high school in the entire state of Texas. In addition to that, I would point out the fact that Idea Public Schools was named the School District of the Year for the state of Texas, the first and, to my knowledge, still only charter school system to attain that honor. So those are some of the stats and figures and numbers that show our success in the aggregate. But there's also hundreds of individual stories that are incredibly inspiring as well. Stories about students like Domingo, who graduated from our original Donna campus back in 2007. Not only was he the first in his family to make it to high school, he was the first to graduate high school, and he was the first to attend college. But at the time, he was also the only adult male in his family to have never been incarcerated. So you combine the amazing stories of students like Domingo with the phenomenal success in the stats that I've combined, and what you really see is the portrait of an organization that is making a difference in the lives of thousands and thousands of families across our state. When I think about the challenges that we've had at Idea Public Schools, it's almost never around educating students. It's all about the business side or the expansion side or the entrepreneurial side or the marketing side of Idea Public Schools. Just one example, in the very first year of our organization, every single month, we had about 1 penny more of revenue than we had expenses. And I can remember oftentimes having to dip into my own personal savings so that we could make payroll for all of our faculty and staff. I think another challenge that we're continuing to face is how we preserve our unique idea culture in an incredibly high growth environment. Just as an example, in 2000 when Idea launched, we had 20 employees. This year, we are hiring over 300 teachers. In one single year, we're hiring more than 10 times the number of people that we had in the first year of our organization. So how we scale that and how we grow the culture of our organization is just incredibly important. And finally, I would say that a big challenge that we've had over the last couple of years is being more sophisticated in how we push back against incorrect information. We recently established a partnership with one of the big school districts here in Texas. And in the process of doing that, the level of anti-charter school sentiment that we had to come up against with the news media, with the teachers unions, with all sorts of folks who don't really understand and support school choice was incredible. And what we found is that we were great at educating students, but we were very poor at telling our story to a broader audience in a way that could get people who have never heard about IDEA more informed and educated on what it is we do. So when I really think about the challenges that we faced, again, it has nothing to do with teaching students how to read or do math. It's really about how we navigate some of the complex external challenges in a high growth environment where we're launching new schools and new communities at a very rapid pace. At Idea Public Schools, we're in this really great place as an organization, and that once our schools reach scale, once they're at a full scale size, every single campus is completely self-sustaining just based on the state and federal funds that we get. But we do need additional philanthropic dollars, and all of the philanthropy that we get, it's aimed at one thing, and that is expanding the impact that we're able to achieve in the Rio Grande Valley and in more communities across the state of Texas. So what would philanthropic dollars enable us to do? It will enable us to launch more schools in more communities more quickly. And the other thing it would allow us to do, which we're not currently doing, is provide financial support to IDEA alumni who are in college. IDEA has figured out how to educate a majority Hispanic population, and we are ready to take our model statewide. We will become the single largest creator of low-income college graduates in Texas. The numbers and the methods of our past success irrefutably improve our ability to dramatically increase the success of every single child who walks into our doors. So your investments can help us open more doors to more students in more communities. The students of Idea Public Schools are working hard. They're working hard to disprove the myths and misconceptions that they cannot succeed and that they can accomplish more than the districts from which they're coming. What we're looking to do is to strengthen our future by getting more funders and more supporters who can help us expand our model. I often say that we don't need fundraising, but we do need funders. And I guess what I mean by that is it's not just getting investments of cash and money from people. It's also about getting people who have the ability to access their political and their social networks to ensure that we're creating more advocates for public education across Texas. This will have a huge effect on our cities and our state and our nation if we can collectively scale the high quality charter school movement in our state. We do a great job with our students when they are enrolled at IDEA. What we have to improve, though, is our alumni support program. Once students graduate IDEA, it gets very difficult for us to track their success and their progress in college. More schools and more graduates are exposing our limitations here, and funding could really help us enhance our data collection systems. Tracking the success will help us figure out where we have to improve our kindergarten through 12th grade academic program. But we also want to use the alumni tracking system to better help us identify students who are in danger of dropping out of college and provide some additional support for them. Another key component at IDEA is ensuring that students visit dozens of colleges and universities by the time they reach their senior year of high school. This completely transforms their vision for themselves of what they can achieve. But right now, this program is woefully underfunded, especially in this time of great expansion for IDEA. Finally, additional funding will allow us to open more schools in more communities, and that will benefit all of us.